Okay, so before we watch the PJW video about eating bugs, from my understanding, Paul blocks any public figure that asks to debate him. Ha! What a pussy. So, from my understanding, the whole eating bugs thing is like an alternative to veganism. The idea is that the argument for eating bugs is that bugs have most of the nutrients that you would need to survive, like protein and shit like that. And a vegan diet under capitalism still isn't an ethical diet. This is probably one of my biggest retorts to vegans when they say that it's immoral not to be vegan. I say, well, there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, right? So even a vegan diet or a vegan lifestyle doesn't make you moral or ethical. So a big argument is that, oh, but bugs, if you eat bugs, it is the only way that you can have an ethical consumption under capitalism, which is still debatable, but it's more of like a philosophical discussion. So I'm excited to see why our boy PJW, the most annoying British person ever, is making a video about eating bugs. Let's see what it is. I'm sure it's going to be very annoying. It's 7 minutes long, and PJW's voice makes me want to, well, kill myself with a pencil. A fucking pencil. In-game, of course, because I don't advocate for self-harm or violence or anything like that, because that's all bad, and Twitch would ban me. Chat, I hope that wasn't too loud. Holy shit.
Listen, I'm not living in a pod, and I'm not eating bugs.
This is me biting into a salty, meaty scorpion. Ooh. And this is me eating ants.
That was amazing.
You see, a lot of people think eating bugs is gross.
Gee, I wonder why.
But it's an idea we might have to start getting used to.
No, it isn't. I'm not eating bugs.
Because we're headed for a global food crisis. According to the UN, as the world's population grows to over 9 billion by 2050, we might have to turn to edible bugs to get our daily dose of protein.
Now, where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, in this book from 1968, which sold millions of copies and
Wait, so is this literally just a video? Is the video he's going to try to debunk here just a video talking about, I'm with PJW on this one, I'm not eating bugs? Yeah, eating bugs is pretty gross in my opinion too, but if there's like statistics to back up that overpopulation may result in us like not having the resources to get everyone the appropriate diet and the amount of nutrients they need to survive, I think it's probably pretty reasonable to say, fuck, we may have to eat some bugs. Like, so far, this video doesn't even seem that crazy. Like, I mean, we are literally just not in a food crisis. That's true. That's where I will contend with this video right now. The video that Paul Joseph Watson's responding to. We aren't in a food crisis. There is plenty of food. The issue is the dissemination of that food and where it's being, sent to. There are people who are middle class and ruling class and rich people who throw out shit tons of food. There is enough food in existence. We have enough food. It's just not enough people are getting that food. Too much is going to waste and getting thrown out. Now, that is true. I'll agree with Volcanic Popsicle, I think it was. Yeah, Volcanic Popsicle says climate change will fuck with global food production. We're going to go more into climate change a little bit later in the stream, but that is true. Climate change will result in the change of climates in certain areas, and so areas that have very good arable land and like good farming land now may end up in the near future being dead and unable to farm there. So we may have issues with that. And then on top of that, we get a lot of our meat, beef, poultry, things like that, pork. We get a lot of that from deforestation. We go down to the Amazon, we cut down a shit ton of trees, we turn that into farmland or mostly into grazing land for cows and stuff. So that also pushes forward climate change. So there is probably a pretty good chance that we may face a global food crisis in the relatively near future. Unfortunately, though, I don't think it's going to be it's not going to be like most Americans that are going to be dealing with it, like middle class people. It's going to be people in like developing countries that are going to suffer from it even more than they do now, which is going to be pretty fucking unfortunate. but that's how it works. That's how capitalism works, right? The ruling class, the capitalist ruling class, exploits the labor of the working class, and then in turn fucks up the environment, which makes things even worse for the working class. And when the results of climate change and whatnot end up affecting the world, the working class gets to deal with all of the side effects, while the ruling class has so much money and so much infrastructure and so many resources that they can build fucking underground bunkers and vaults to fucking live out the end of the world. And they're gonna be fine up in their ivory towers while the coasts and the and low-lying neighborhoods flood from rising sea levels and whatnot. I could rant about this for about an hour if I wanted to, but let's see what this is all about.
That, quote, hundreds of millions of people are going to starve to death by the 1980s because of overpopulation. Didn't happen because it was scaremongering alarmist bullshit.
Okay, I want to interject here because this is very important. This is an excuse I hear from dumbasses like Paul Joseph Watson, just conservatives in general, when they try to argue that climate change isn't real. They'll be like, well, did you know that this climatologist said that the world would be underwater, or that Florida would be underwater by the 80s? Or actually, did you know that this climatologist said that we were facing an incoming ice age back in the 80s? Like, they'll say that shit. What was this book? What was this book that he's referencing? I want to see if this was written by anybody with like any actual background in science. Let's see, Dr. Paul L. The Population Bomb. Population Control on Race to Oblivion. Or Race to Oblivion, The Population Bomb. All right, you know what? Conservatives always lie. They always lie. So I want to see what Paul Joseph Watson is lying about here with this book. Let's see what's going on here. The Population Bomb is a best-selling book written by Stanford University professor Paul R. Ehrlich, and his wife Anne Ehrlich, who was uncredited. Great, of course. Women not getting credited in the book. Of course. In 1968. It predicted worldwide famine in the 1970s and 80s due to overpopulation as well as other major societal upheavals, and advocated immediate action to limit overpopulation growth. Fears of population explosion were widespread in the 1950s and 1960s, but the book and its author brought the idea to an even wider audience. The book has been criticized since its publishing for its alarmist tone and in recent decades for its inaccurate predictions. The Ehrlichs stand by the basic ideas of the book, stating in 2009 that perhaps the most serious flaw in the bomb was that it was too much optimistic about the future, and believed that, okay, so basically, Ehrlich, okay, whatever, guys. All right, so from what I'm reading here, it does seem like this book was way off, although I would like to point out that trying to use data from the 50s and 60s, or no, because they wrote the book in the 50s and 60s, or in the 60s, right? So they're probably using data from like the 50s. So if you're going off of data in the 50s and trying to predict something that'll happen in the 80s, like it's probably going to end up not being too accurate. So I can agree with shitting on this book. I will give Paul a pass on this one. The problem is when people like Paul, because he's a fucking idiot, try to equate this to climate change. They'll try to equate, they do it all the time. They say anyone talking about man-made climate change and how big of a deal it is being alarmist and trying to drum up clicks and blah, 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 blah. So I imagine we're going to get some of that in this video.
This book from 1968, which starved to death by the 1980s because of overpopulation, didn't happen because it was scaremongering alarmist bullshit. And so is this.
Because we're headed for a global food crisis.
Over 2 billion people on Earth eat edible insects. I mean, it's like, what are we missing?
Literally nothing.
I think the media always paint bugs as kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, the media, right? Stupid media. Wait, you are the media.
So it's like really
Well, I don't know why he's harping so much on ew. Look, they're eating bugs. Like, okay, there's a lot of places in the world where people eat bugs. There are bugs that, like, let's be honest. I'm going to get real with you here for a second. Crab is basically a bug. Like, most seafood that you eat that isn't fish, things like clams and crabs, especially any crustacean that you eat, is basically a fucking bug. No, this is a good take. This is literally exactly the same. You do know that, I'm pretty sure lobsters... Yeah, lobster is basically an ocean roach. I mean, most crustaceans are arthropods, or in the arthropod fucking category, just like spiders and like scorpions and whatnot. Maine lobster and crab is god tier, not like fucking bugs, you idiot, you cretin. I'm sorry, Comrade Courtney, but facts don't care about your feelings. So, there is an argument to be made here that all this video is just Paul Joseph Watson saying, ew, bugs, I don't want to eat bugs, ew, sure, okay, you don't have to eat bugs, but why are you freaking out about a video where this guy tries some bugs? It seems like the things he's eating here, too, it's not like he's just, like, picking up a fucking scorpion or something and just going and eating it right off of a fucking tree. You know, it's not what's happening here. It seems like he's going to restaurants where they're, like, preparing these insects in specific ways to be at least somewhat tasty. I mean, hey. Shrimp. Yeah, shrimp are basically sea cockroaches. That's literally what they are. Hold on, do you want to see what a shrimp looks like? Raise your hand. Type 1 in chat if you like shrimp. In any shape, way, shape, and form. Type 1 in chat if you like shrimp. Yeah? Alright. Let me show you what a live shrimp looks like for those of you fuckers who've never seen one before. That's what a live shrimp looks like. This is what shrimp look like before you cook them. It's kind of gross when you think about it. Look at this. Do you want to eat that? Either way. I'm going to argue that Paul Joseph Watson's retort of, ew, bugs, isn't really valid.
Educating people.
You can put me in a re-education camp. I'm still not eating bugs.
What specifically is disgusting to each of us is very personal and culturally relative.
Some
True, yeah.
cultures are better than others.
In Thailand.
Okay, so I should point out, Paul Joseph Watson is a fascist. He believes in the Great Replacement. He's probably a Nazi. I'm pretty sure he's a Nazi. He's done, he does the globalist thing, and when you say globalist, it's usually dog-whistling Jews. So he is a Nazi, but at the very least, he's a fascist who believes in the Great Replacement. As he says there, he does believe that some cultures are better than others. By that, he means Western white culture. He's been very open that he doesn't want brown people coming to white countries. I should have known. I think we're going to get out of this video some dog whistles for the Great Replacement. He's going to try to make the claim that brown people coming into white countries want to force white Western countries to eat bugs. He's going to do some shit like that, I guarantee it. And then on top of that, he's going to try to compare the alarmist book about the population bomb from back in 1968 to the current scientific consensus that climate change, man-made climate change, is a huge fucking deal, and we are going to be suffering from all of its all or most of its side effects in the next 100 years. Within the next 12 years, I think it is, or 15 years, I don't remember the exact number, if we don't change something, the effects will be inevitable. If we don't stop it in the next 15 years, we can't stop what's going to happen. The rising sea levels, the destruction of a lot of arable land for farming, more exaggerated weather events such as hurricanes, storms, things like that. If we don't stop it in 15 years, if we don't make big changes, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it if we don't make a big difference in 15 years. No. It's not we die in 10 or 15 years. It's if we haven't stopped. Okay, so this really pisses me off because when people spread this kind of misinformation about climate change, and I get into a debate with a climate change denier, I always have to work through this. Okay, so let's imagine like a train track. Okay, so let's imagine this box right here is a train track. All right, maybe these are like the spokes on the train track. Fuck it, I don't need to show that. All right. Now let's imagine this blue square is climate change. This is like the climate change train, okay? That's the climate change train. And this right here is the end of the fucking track. And there's a big cliff. If this climate change train right here goes off the edge of the track, that's death. That's death, okay? Now, currently, if we take the climate change train, we're probably around here somewhere. We're probably closer to here. However, what climate scientists are saying is that if we don't do something in the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to be here. Which means, yeah, let's use this example actually. Climate change. We are a speeding train heading towards heading towards the end of a track that goes straight off a cliff. And if we don't stop the train, if we don't pull the brakes in time, we aren't going to stop in time not to go off the fucking cliff and all die. All right? Now, we're moving along. Now, if we pull those brakes and we stop it, any time in the black here, in the black section, we'll be okay. But if we pull those brakes and we don't do anything before we get into this orange section and give the train time to slow down and stop, it'll be too late. No matter what we do, we're going off the edge, and we've caused irreversible damage to the planet and possibly irreversible damage to the human species. So, the argument that climatologists are making is that, no, it's not going to be 15 years and everyone's dead. It's going to be in 15 years, the effects of everything are going to be unstoppable, and in the next 100 years, we're going to see, I think it's like a 5-foot rise in sea level. If that sounds... Okay, if a 5-foot rise in sea level doesn't sound like a big deal to you, let me show you guys one of the biggest cities in the world, New York City. Let's just see some images of New York City, all right? What do you think would happen if the average sea level of New York City went up 5 feet? The average sea level of New York City in the next 100 years going up 5 feet. It's called a seawall, idiot. Ooh, do we have a climate change denier in chat? Okay, Mr. Shane Harvey 01. Let me tell you something. Just because the sea level has risen 5 feet, mind you, you can build a seawall for that. But you guys know that like storms and high tides are things, right? Like climate change, like, you know, we get climate events, we get weather events and whatnot that come along, things like hurricanes and flooding, flash flooding happens, right? Do you really think like building higher sea level, like seawalls all around any coastal city and coastal area, do you really think that's like a good idea when we could just take precautions to prevent climate change? You know, we could do that, right? You know, we don't have to just like build bigger seawalls. How would that even work? Like, how would we even build seawalls around all of this that would prevent flooding? Yeah, no. Who remembers, I think it was Hurricane Irene a few years ago really fucked up New York City. Yeah. So this is like areas in New York, or no, Hurricane Sandy. So this was a couple years ago. This was the flash flooding they saw a couple years ago in New York City. Now I want you to imagine this, but the global sea levels on average are 5 feet higher. Average on a normal day. I don't think people because 5 feet sounds like such a small thing, but like add 5 feet onto this, even if we can keep places from flooding on a normal day when a hurricane or a storm comes by, which will be, by the way, because of climate change, even more extreme than they are now, any coastal area is most likely very fucked. Which is why it pisses me off so much when popular shitlords like Paul Joseph Watson make videos where they compare a fucking out-of-touch alarmist book about overpopulation from 1968 to the overwhelming consensus in the scientific community about the effects of climate change nowadays in 2020, when we have way more technology, way smarter, like way more informed scientists. It's just, yeah, no, actually just move, just sell your, if your house gets flooded, just sell it to Just sell it to Aquaman. You do realize storm drains stop flooding? Oh my god. You're actually... I have a genuine chud in my chat. Okay, boys. Here's what I'll do for you, Shane Harvey. I will finish up this video, and then I will debate you, Mr. fucking Shane Harvey, all right? I will debate you on stream. You can destroy this libtard with facts and logic in front of everybody. It'll be a good meme. And if you don't, then I'm going to ban you, because if you pussy out of debating me, then that just shows you're just here to talk shit and not, and just don't have the balls to defend your positions live. All right.
And other places in Asia and some places in South America where bugs are actually part of everyday cuisine, it's completely normal and natural to eat them.
Yeah, it's normal in some parts of China to eat dogs. Should we start eating dogs?
It's Christopher Columbus.
I mean, I don't want to, but, like, literally nothing that's been said here is wrong. This is literally just a... This is just like a documentary about, hey, in other cultures, people eat bugs, and it's like a normal part of their diet. You know, it's sort of, it's not like a huge deal.
Eat them.
Yeah, it's normal in some parts of China to eat dogs. Should we start eating dogs?
It's Christopher Columbus to blame for our fear of edible insects. A new study says European colonizers demonized indigenous people as savages for eating insects.
Christopher Columbus was right. Or was he? Maybe it's racist to not want to eat insects. Damn white people and their spins wheel. Refusal to eat bugs.
Over...
I mean, Christopher Columbus and European colonizers did come to America and, like, you know, exterminate the Native Americans. Chad Boris is about to start fucking... Oh, man. Guys, are you excited to see Chad Boris to start fucking defending Christopher Columbus in chat? Chad Boris saw this video, all right? I'm shitting on Chad Boris right now. Chad Boris saw this video that has since been, like, torn apart by all of Breadtube. I want to see you defending Christopher Columbus in chat, Chad. This fucking video by Knowing Better, this video has been, like, torn a new one by a lot of Breadtube. Alright, listen. I don't want anybody citing this video. This video has been torn apart historically. Alright? Now, Christopher Columbus was a piece of shit. Alright? Total piece of shit. I don't think we need to, be defending Christopher Columbus, but guess what? It's Paul Joseph Watson, so I'm not surprised.
2 million people eat insects around the world today.
I'm just kidding. So guys, don't shit on Chad. Don't shit on Chad. All right? Listen, a lot of people fell for that video by the Knowing Better video. It's okay. Everyone, I want you to give Chad a hug. Everyone in chat, give Chad a hug. Chad's awesome. Chad, let me tell you how cool Chad is, all right? Chad's goal is to hug and give head pats to as many trans girls as possible. That's his goal. All right, everyone give Chad Boris a hug. All right, there we go. Okay, let's continue.
Also think about reframing our past and chart a new course towards a future that's fully liberated from those early colonizers' misinformed worldviews.
No, fuck you. I'm not eating bugs.
The art museum was...
Is that all this video is going to be? Just Paul Joseph Watson saying, "Fuck you, I'm not eating bugs, you can't make me eat bugs, I don't care if you put me in a fucking concentration camp, I'm not gonna eat bugs, I just don't want to eat bugs, mate!" What is his... Is that all that his, like, responses are?
Southeast Texas is hosting Eat a Bug Day. It's family friendly.
It's family friendly.
Kiddos will get a chance to eat fried crickets or fried mealworms that are brought by Bill Clark Pest Control.
Swallowing the leftovers of what your local pest control company collected after...
These just aren't points. Like, if they're clean and they, like, cook them, and it's safe to eat, and there's, like, cultures in other parts of the world that eat it, and that's where they get their protein from, and it's just... Usually, like, the Western palate isn't used to it. Like, there's a lot of shit around the world that we in America find very fucking gross, all right? And there's literally nothing really wrong with it. Like, sushi, as a matter of fact. Everyone in chat, type 1 if you like sushi. We got about 300 people watching, so go ahead and drop a 1 in chat if you like sushi. Hell yeah, okay. A lot of people like sushi in chat, okay? A lot of people like sushi. So, guess what? Fuck off. You like Americanized sushi. you would not want to even touch actual Japanese sushi. If you go to Japan and you eat actual sushi at a restaurant in Japan, you would not be able to fucking touch it with your tongue. It is very different. For starters, they soak everything in vinegar, so it's like the wafting smell of vinegar hits your nostrils and it makes your fucking nose hairs like singe up like they're on fire. So there's that to start with. They use actual raw fish, like a lot of actual raw fish. It's like with the American palate, actual like Japanese sushi is really fucking gross. The sushi that you get from a Japanese restaurant in America is like heavily Americanized and like changed for the American palate. So like there's not literally, how do people consider this to be like a valid point? I don't know if like the video Paul Joseph Watson is making here is just supposed to be like entertaining and no political message behind it. I mean, Paul Joseph Watson is like a political dude, so I'm assuming that like all of his stuff has a political message, you know, generally. Like, I don't think just saying, oh, other cultures eat gross stuff, I don't want to, is like a response.
The fumigating a rancid building. A fun day for all the family.
It's family friendly.
How cool is that?
About as cool as drinking my own vomit.
I love when the kiddos make their parents try the bugs.
Yeah, it's pretty
They
funny.
have to be brave for the kids. And then, of course, they get a fun I ate a bug sticker.
See, when I was in school, kids who ate bugs weren't given stickers. They were put back a year.
You see that?
I need more.
It doesn't even taste crunchy. It's not bad. Try it. Put it in your mouth.
I'll do it with you.
Put it in your mouth.
Bruh. Put it in your mouth.
I'll do it with you. One.
Put it in your mouth.
Why do hold on. Listen, can I rant for a second here? Why do reactionaries like do the like repeating the thing over and over again and then saying it in slow motion and then making it ear rape and then saying it again and then zooming it in and making it like blurry? Why do like zoomers and like reactionaries find that funny? I used to find it funny when I was like a zoomer back in the day. I don't know why I used to. It's because of meme culture, I guess so. Because like every time I see like either a zoomer video or a reactionary video, because like the videos reactionaries make like this are generally supposed to appeal to zoomers. Like Paul Joseph Watson is very open that his content is meant to indoctrinate young people into being right wing. So like, why? Like it's so annoying how it's always the same thing. Someone says something a little funny or weird, then they play it again. And they play it again but zoomed in, then they play it again but in slow motion, and they play it again but like blurrier and more zoomed in with maybe like a red filter and shaking a little bit, and then they do it and then it's ear rape. I don't know. Listen, I'm too much of a boomer.
Cultured, okay.
So cultured.
Put it in your mouth.
But if you thought that it couldn't get any weirder than people wanting to
Oh
eat
yeah, 300
bugs,
viewers.
Think again. Some people want to fuck them.
Putting your penis into a container and then filling that container
with earthworms. All right. Can I point something out here really quick? Notice how we've gone from watching an interview about eating bugs to from like a completely different company to just switching right over to a Vice interview with a random dude that likes to fuck bugs, where the point of watching the interview is like, haha, wow, this guy's pretty weird. Like, I'm pretty sure this interview wasn't made for you to go in and think, oh yeah, this guy, like, yeah, this guy's got a point. Yeah, this guy's super cool. I'm pretty sure that wasn't Vice's intention, in the same way that when Vice interviewed the white nationalists at the Unite the Right rally, Vice's message wasn't, yeah, these white nationalists are the good guys, that's why we're interviewing them and getting their side of things. Like, it's clearly, like, that's not what the point of this is. Holy shit.
A container, and then filling that container with earthworms.
That's true, actually. Victor Diaz, pigs do live in their filth, and yet Paul Joseph Watson definitely wouldn't say no to a plate of bacon. I definitely wouldn't either, but hey.
This is why the terrorists hate us.
There's a safe way to insert.
Why does he keep saying that? He said it on Twitter like twice now, and he says it again. So is the implication here, we got trolls? I don't give a fuck. I'll debate them if they want to debate, but if not, I'll just ban them. Why does Paul Joseph Watson keep saying this? Is he saying that the terrorists are valid in their hatred for America? That sounds like an America deserved 9/11 Hassan Piker take right there. Holy shit. PJW believes that PJW looks like it looks like PJW believes that America deserved it. Damn. All right, let's continue.
Earthworms.
PJW is a secret leftist, hell yeah.
To the urethra.
Bruh.
I put my penis in ice cold water because worms enjoy cold places.
Bruh.
The look of absolute pleasure on my face as the worm was wriggling inside me.
Bruh.
Squirming around in there. Superworms also will bite. I will put usually a bit of honey onto an area I want them to bite.
It's family friendly.
Wait,
because that
why is he playing that clip after that? These have not. I know maybe it's just like a meme, and it's because like slow and then loud, and then like doing the meme edits is funny and stuff. But like, these aren't the same thing. The lady saying it's family friendly was talking about them like doing a show where you can bring your kids and they can have like bugs that are safe to eat. This is literally just a Vice interview with guys that like to fuck bugs, and the point of the interview is to be like, "Ha! Look at this fucking weirdo," and you're supposed to laugh at them.
A bit of honey onto an area I want them to bite.
It's family friendly.
Because that maggot has no higher reasoning or thought process really of any kind. I very much don't feel that way about, say, my dog. My dog clearly is capable of making decisions and doing what she does or doesn't want to do. And thus, her consent is important, which is one of a myriad reasons why I would not have sex with my dog, other than not being interested in sex with dogs.
Yeah, he definitely has sex with his dog.
That earthworm hasn't consented to being on your genitals.
Hashtag me too.
Wait, he was literally arguing that you can fuck earthworms because they don't have higher function?
I've masturbated a lot of places. And
wait, is this just the rest of the video? Just like him showing clips of Vice interviews about guys that jack off to or have sex with bugs? Is that the rest of this video? Is that what I'm watching right now? Is that what this has devolved to? Just me reacting to Paul Joseph Watson reacting to videos of guys who fuck bugs so he can frame it as being the same as people making the case that humanity may have to eat bugs if we face any more of a food shortage and food crisis, and comparing that to climate change because he's a climate change denier. Okay.
Weird flex, but okay.
Put it in your mouth.
And of course it had to be Vice. The same outlet that gave a sympathetic platform to a paedophile so he could whine about mean comments on the internet. The same outlet that gave a platform...
Do I have to read these articles? I mean, Paul Joseph Watson is like a lying piece of shit. Hey, Frit, I'll give you a rank and stuff in the website in a minute. Do I need to go and like read these articles? Because I feel like if I go there, I'm going to find that it's literally nothing that PJW is talking about. Ooh, also, look at that. February 2014. The beginning of 2015. Damn, the very beginning of 2015, we're pulling up memes like that? Also, holy shit. The amount of flaws in Paul Joseph Watson's argument here is so numerous that I'm forgetting ones as I talk about other ones. So for starters, Paul Joseph, like, Vice weren't the people that were making the case that people should try eating bugs. It wasn't Vice, completely different news organization. So he tries to compare that with some Vice articles or some Vice interviews or documentaries, sorry, where they interview some people that like to fuck bugs, and it's not framed in a way that's like, yeah, fucking bugs is good. They're just interviewing them. That's how interviews work. And then saying this coming from the same people that 10 years ago, or yeah, no, 5 to 10 years ago, did an interview with a pedophile, and like the amount of like leaps in logic here, it should already have stopped when Paul Joseph Watson tries to compare these people to the to the people that were making the case that, or like the Vice, to the people that were making the case that people should try eating bugs. They weren't even the same people. They weren't the same organization, anything like that. Hybrid DGG says, why is my Twitch chat so different to the chat on the screen? That's because the Twitch chat isn't on screen. I have a website called pigpuncher.com/live, and the chat on that website, where I have like my custom emotes and everything, that's the chat that I actually read. I typically don't read Twitch and YouTube chat, but if you want to be on screen, come to the website and sign up and come hang out. Yeah, pigpuncher.com/live. It's the good chat.
About mean comments on the internet. The same outlet that gave a platform to a dude who likes to fuck zoo animals. And the same outlet that taught women how to make breakfast with their vaginal yeast. Yeah, them. But who am I to judge? I mean, it's probably completely normal in some parts of the world to put your cock in a tub of slugs.
It's completely normal.
Maybe it's racist to not want earthworms crawling up your knob hole.
It's an idea we might...
Can we follow the line of logic here? All right, let's follow the line of logic really quick. Actually, no, paint time. We're going to do it with paint so I can visualize it for you a little bit better. The Virgin Twitch chat versus the Chad Pig Puncher chat versus the Thad YouTube chat. No, the YouTube chat are degenerate. Okay, so. Documentary about why eating bugs is good. All right, so that's what we're starting with, okay? And PJW got super fucking mad about this and started whining about how he doesn't want to eat bugs. And then he brings up a completely different news organization, all right? Shows Vice interviews about dudes who fuck bugs. All right, so completely unrelated organization, not even the same people. All right, not even the same people, not the same organization, not the same message. Argument that it might be good to try eating bugs for like health reasons, whatnot. It's okay, YouTube chat, I love you guys, but come to the website if you can. Documentary about eating bugs, cool. Then brings and tries to compare it to a Vice interview about a guy who fucks bugs, and then correlates that to other or original documentary claims other cultures eat bugs, so they think that I am racist if I don't want slugs crawling on my dick. So, look at this leap of logic, guys. This is what we've done here. So Paul Joseph Watson starts, don't make fun of my spelling, I fucking suck at typing, okay? They don't teach typing in school where I am. The Florida education system's bad, alright? Documentary about why eating bugs is good. Cool, fine with that. Then compares it to a Vice interview about dudes who eat bugs. And then compares that to the original documentary saying that you're racist because in other cultures people eat bugs. Also maybe in other cultures people fuck bugs and it's normal. And so if you don't want to do that, then the radical leftists would call you racist. Uh-huh. Now, Paul Joseph Watson is racist. Don't get me wrong. He is that. But this is probably the biggest stretch of logic Paul has ever made. Holy shit. What a fucking slimy piece of shit he is.
Might have to start getting used to.
Scorpion tastes kind of like this weird plastic.
The next wave of alternative burgers could be made from hemp, mung beans, or even cricket. Cockroach milk, the superfood of the future, has arrived. How to develop an appetite for insects. Bugs may be the protein of the future that can help save the planet. Swedish scientist Magnus Soderlund says we need to turn to cannibalism to stop climate change.
Soylent Green is made out of people.
No one takes this guy seriously, by the way. Also, hold on, is that a, Ha! Okay, nice. The article he's linking here, how much you want to bet Paul, it's written by him. This is a Breitbart article. I think he works for Breitbart, or what is it? No, InfoWars. It's an InfoWars article he's citing that's written by him. Wait, how much do you want to bet all of these are by him? Or at least most of them. This one isn't. That's New York Times. Okay, so I like how he shows things that aren't really that crazy. Like, okay.
This wave of alternative
cool.
burgers could be
hemp
made
burgers.
from hemp. Mung beans.
Nothing crazy here.
Cricket.
Nothing really crazy there.
Milk, the superfood of the future has
All
arrived.
right, nothing
How
too
to
crazy
develop
there.
An appetite for insects.
Nothing crazy there.
Maybe the protein of the future.
Nothing crazy here.
Save the planet. Swedish
and then the crazy one about cannibalism that he tries to compare all of those with is written by him on his literal propaganda website that is basically considered by anybody with any level of what's the word I'm looking for? Any level of any level of integrity as untrustworthy. Anyone with a brain. And it's written by him. Nice. Citing yourself. Imagine you're in school and you write like a paper in school. And when like down in the citations, when you cite your arguments, you cite an article written by yourself.
Says we need to turn to cannibalism to stop climate change.
Soylent Green is made out of people.
Reza Aslan ate human brains on CNN, and people in Spain are eating human sausages.
Soylent Green is people!
Eating bugs and human body tissue to save the planet. Yeah, I'm sure Prince Harry and Greta Thunberg will be first in line when cockroaches and flesh is being dished out at the next International Climate Summit.
I knew it.
Leonardo.
I knew it. God, I love this. Ooh. I love it. I love it when fucking chuds, they always do it. They gotta slip in the bit of climate change denial in there, the science denial and whatnot. I love it.
DiCaprio will still be flying around on his private jet while he demands you live on the subsistence ant diet. This is all just a giant re-education program, preparing you for drastically lower standards of living once they enforce their disastrous Green New Deal. Well,
they? You mean the Jews? Ironically enough, what I will point out, it's actually, hold on, the people who would want to lower the standards for living are the capitalist ruling class. I mean, obviously by they, he means the Jews. He is a Nazi, I know.
Welcome to the progressive utopia. You, alone, atomized, despairing, living in a converted sewer pipe pod, eating bugs, while crying in front of your only companion, which is an emotional support pig on Xanax. Living the dream. No, I don't care how many times you tell me, it's to save the planet. I'm not dehumanizing myself to adapt to your horrendous dystopia. I'm not living in a pod. I'm not drinking cockroach milk. And I'm not eating fucking bugs.
Put it in your mouth.
Damn. I kind of hope Paul Joseph Watson lives long enough. Like, this is where I just want to dehumanizing, mask off racist. Pretty true. Like, listen, if you don't want to eat bugs to save the planet, sure. Most people aren't going to. Let's be real here. But, like, he sounds like a child. He really does. Holy fuck. I don't even know where to respond to from this. That was embarrassing. He cites an article written by him, tries to compare other cultures eating bugs to dudes who fuck bugs, and then claiming that the leftists would say that he's racist if he doesn't want to fuck bugs. Like, how intellectually dishonest can you be? Holy shit. Good lord.